travel day. Well, actually, our second travel day of 3 in this series. Yesterday we arrived here at Heathrow from Amsterdam. Today we're traveling to Washington DC, and tomorrow we will be traveling to our final destination, Orlando. So let's go inside. Terminal 5 at Heathrow is basically the home of British Airways. As we enter the terminal, straight ahead of us is the Club World and the Club Europe check-in area. It used to be in the middle, but now it has moved to the left. In the middle now you will find economy and premium economy, and all the way at the back is the first class wing for first class passengers and those who have a high enough status to use it. As we are walking all the way down to the first class wing, I'll just tell you a bit about what to expect there. When you're traveling first class, a person will wait for you at the entrance. They'll bring you to a free check-in desk. Then the wing also has its own security, and as you go through security there, you will be walking into the first class lounge. So that's all in one go. As we are traveling actual first class today, we can walk through the first lounge to the Concorde lounge.
Morning.
So entering the Concorde room, we're heading straight for breakfast as we're famished. There's a main area on the inside with a bar, then there's a dining area with little booths, and then outside there's a large terrace with all sorts of different seating options and also some tables to eat from. So if you have any intolerances or allergies, they will call over the manager and he will walk you through the menu to which items you can and cannot have, and which can be changed to make it safe for you. So I had the eggs Benedict. The eggs were nice and runny. The English muffin was nicely toasted. The ham was good. The only thing that let it down was the hollandaise sauce, which was kind of bland and missed a bit of acidity to it. My wife had the California toast, crushed avocado, an egg and some roasted tomatoes. The tomatoes let it down. They could have been roasted a bit longer, but all in all we enjoyed the breakfast, and we had some cappuccinos to wash it away. Heading to the outside, which of course is still on the inside of the terminal, but it's nice and bright out here, so it kind of feels like you're going outside. Time for another cup of coffee and maybe even a glass of champagne. So here you see why I call it a balcony. It is an actual balcony. You got a great view of the terminal and of outside, and there to the right of me is an actual nose cone of a Concorde. So time to fly. Unlike some of British Airways competitors, there is no luxury sports car or a personal escort that will take you to the plane if you're flying first class. You just have to tough it out and find your own way. And the good news, we managed it and survived it. Heathrow is a big airport. There's a Terminal 2, there's a Terminal 3, there's a Terminal 4, and we are currently at Terminal 5. And then Terminal 5 is made up out of 3 buildings. We are in the A building, which is the main building with arrivals and departure. And then there are 2 satellite buildings, B and C, which just house the gates. We are traveling to the B gates today. You get there by an underground train. There is a secret tunnel. Well, it's not really a secret. There's another tunnel in which you can walk to the satellite buildings if you want to. We are feeling quite lazy today, so we're just going to take the train.
This from gates B32 to B48. Remain on transit for gates C52 to C66.
The train ride just took a couple of minutes. I actually think that the escalator from the station up here to the concourse level takes much longer. In the satellite building you will find shops selling you all the basic stuff, travel necessities, food, drink, snacks and reading material. Just anything that will make your flight a bit more comfortable. There's also a British Airways business class lounge here, the cursed lounge as I call it. As about 7 years ago I lost my wedding ring in that lounge, and my wife still hasn't forgiven me to this day. The plane that's going to take us to Washington Dulles is a Boeing 787. As we enter the airplane, we pass through the business class section right here and straight on to the first class in the front of the plane.
Trying to keep you off the camera. Thank you.
So there's only 8 seats in the first class section, 2 rows of 4. These are not the newest seats which you have on the 777, these are just the generation before. Big difference is that the new ones have a suite door, which these haven't, but the privacy is just as good, I think. As we settled in, they offered us a drink, they gave us an amenity kit, some slippers, and also offered pajamas if we wanted to sleep during this flight. After takeoff, we found out that my wife's TV system wasn't working. They reset it 3 times to no avail. Fortunately, there is Wi-Fi on board, so if my wife got bored of talking to me, she could listen to some music and watch some YouTube videos and do other things online.
Hello again, we should have the flight data for those managed. Just been speaking to air traffic, just a few minutes of delay at Heathrow today, so we're just holding on stand for approximately another 4 minutes and then we'll get going to Washington. Thank you for your patience.
It's always strange not to sit next to a window. My wife did spot a Concorde as we turned onto the runway and even managed to get a shot of it. So my wife did manage to film the takeoff from her seat across the aisle through the window. Very impressive. She managed to keep that in focus despite how bouncy it was during our takeoff. After takeoff, I had a gin and tonic. Seems to be my go-to drink these days if I'm offered one. We also got some canapes. We had some smoked duck, a smoked trout donut as they called it, and a minced pea tartlet. All were very nice, very tasty. So on the gluten-free side, my wife got some shrimps, some watermelon to which they've done something, and some crab on a cucumber. It doesn't look that tasty, but my wife said that was actually quite nice. For the gluten-free starter, my wife was offered the poached salmon with asparagus and a salsa, and for a drink she had a green tea. For my starter I had the dry aged beef carpaccio with a tarragon brown butter sauce. And I also had a glass of the New Zealand Pinot Noir. Both were very nice. So the main course, gluten-free for my wife, was a roasted rack of Welsh spring lamb with a rosemary jus. The lamb was very tender, it literally fell off the bone. Yeah, it was a very good main course. So if I have a choice of main courses, I tend to choose the one that appeals to me the least, so maybe that will lead to a nice surprise. And in this case it was exactly that. I had the free-range Cornish grilled chicken breast with English mustard yogurt and tomato and black pepper sauce. It was very nice. Surprisingly, the chicken was very tender, so I really enjoyed it, so I made a good decision. The star of the gluten-free dessert was the dessert wine, which was very nice. The dessert itself was really bad. It's a generic dessert. It was served to us on a recent Club Europe flight. It shouldn't be served in any class, let alone in first class. I skipped the sweet dessert and went for a selection of cheese, and I washed it away with a very nice glass of port. Flight time from Heathrow to Dulles is 7 hours and 27 minutes for this flight. We departed about 30 minutes late, but we still came in on time. About an hour before landing we were served tea. This is my wife's gluten-free selection. Sandwiches were good. The strawberries dipped in chocolate were very good, she told me. So yeah, kind of a redemption on that very bad dessert she was served earlier. And here's the regular afternoon tea. I got 3 sandwiches, smoked salmon, an egg mayonnaise sandwich, a ham sandwich. They gave me a lemon eclair, a chocolate cake and a Victoria sponge cake. For some reason they gave me 2 scones, maybe based on my size, but I'm actually a half a scone person. And I must admit I did opt out of the tea and had a cup of coffee. Well, Washington Dulles Airport had a little surprise for me. This is my first time at this airport, and instead of a long trek towards the border control and customs, they've got here what they have called a mobile lounge, some sort of bus type thing, which you enter and that will take you to the main building. Very strange, very surprising, very crowded. Yeah, but this is probably a solution they had to think of as the airport expanded. This is where the fun sort of ended for us. Border security was an absolute disaster. Several international flights arrived at the same time. We waited in line for at least 2 hours, if not more. They only had a couple of agents working. I really haven't seen it this bad for well, quite some years now. To answer the question that's in the title of the video, is it worth it? We bought this holiday package last year, very early. We were intending to fly business class anyway, and the total price was only a couple of hundred of euros more expensive than flying business class. So yes, for the extras we had, it was worth it. Do I think it's worth it if I would buy a ticket right now for next week? Return ticket from London Heathrow to Washington Dulles. At the moment the price difference between business class and first class is about 15,000 euros. So that's a big no. That certainly isn't worth an extra 15,000 in my opinion. If I look up a ticket for next October, then the price difference is around 1,000 euros. That comes closer, but still that's a big difference. 1,000 euros is a lot of money for me. So my final thoughts on this first class flight on British Airways. We had a lovely crew. The seat is very comfortable, very intimate in a small cabin with only 8 seats. The food was great, the drinks were great. So all in all, if it goes well, it went very well. Shame about my wife's entertainment system not working and that horrible dessert she had. But we had a good time. We enjoyed this flight, and we were very relaxed when we arrived until the border situation. So today we will travel towards the center of the city. We've got a hotel very close by the White House, and tomorrow we will be on our third flight on our third day of our travel day, our Disney travel day. So hopefully you will also watch those vlogs and trip reports. So thank you for watching. Do leave in the comments your thoughts on Washington Dulles Airport mobile lounges, your thoughts on British Airways first class. Share your experiences. I will reply to every comment I get. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next vlog. Bye bye.